Hello, people, and welcome to our Thursday live session here with the Land Pilot. And it's a Q&A session, but I was like really thinking, how can I provide a maximum of value today? And I mean, there's a bunch of big news with the Land Autopilot, and we will talk about that today. But I just like took some time today, just like to figure out. Um, what's going on in the marketplace today, because I talked to a bunch of investors, and what I see is that a lot of people are like really unhappy with that what's going on, and where the land game is, and um, where they're standing with things. And like I was like, okay, hey, let me bring everything together I heard over the past couple of months from people, and what is really going on, right? Like, because a lot of people say, like, this is not working, that is not working. And today's session will be about that, right? Like, I really want to talk about like what's working in the marketplace, what's not working, and yeah, what can you do, right? Like to get on top of that. And it's a learn, discover, transform session today, right? Because I really want to show you what are the challenges in the marketplace, in the land marketplace today, and see, really give you an impression what you can do, and also like how could we help you with that, because we spent a bunch of time with you over the past, like, I would say, year now, to see what's working, what's not working. And we really brought something together where you can ultimately transform your business to position yourself as a CEO in the land business instead of being an operator. So, and what I really, in the next couple of minutes or next few minutes, what I want to see is why most land investors struggle to scale, and really like how we can help you with a system to transform your business from inconsistent hustle to predictable success. And this is what our session will be about today. And the land game has changed a lot. Over the past 2 years, the market has gone much softer. This is the first thing that happened. Um, why did that happen? The Fed raised the interest rates, and through that, like the house market is much slower. Like even hot markets, like you see them today in like in the Dallas area where I live, right? Or even in the hottest markets, Southern California and so on. Houses are staying longer in the market because loans are more expensive. People can't afford that what they could afford before. And of course, like even with the delay, it affects us in land, right? There's less buyers that are qualified to build a house on that piece of land they acquire, right? There's less buyers and generally looking for that because everybody tries to keep their money a little bit together. And that, of course, has an impact on the market, and especially on a market that was producing the most revenue in before 2023. One of those was the market for lots like 40 to $100,000 that were great lots to build on, to build like a custom house, and like a five, six, seven, $800,000 house. And a lot of people that were able to afford a house like this are now no longer able to afford a house like this. And yeah, so they don't buy that kind of land anymore. What we have seen is that there's two markets that are working pretty great, and one of those markets is the market for lots under 40,000 or under $30,000, where a bunch of people are looking right now for affordable living spaces, right? Like where they can put up a mobile home or a cheaper house or something like that. Um, that's the one thing that's working. The second thing that's working is like bigger lots. We see a bunch of people parking money, like lots north of 100,000, 200, 300,000, like really lots where people are um, 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 hunting or doing like any kind of recreational activities or whatever that is. So that was the second market that really worked. And what I see is that like a bunch of land flippers don't really look into those markets, and um, don't pull like the data like in a way that this reflects this two insights we just were seeing. The second thing that came across with that is, especially in the past like 3 years, I would say, is that you have a bunch of um, coaches entering the market that teach you how to do land. So the level of competition of people that are trying to get feet on the ground in the land space has drastically increased. So that means like that suddenly there is not like a couple of hundred people competing around this lot. It's a couple of thousand or a couple of 10,000 people that do the same thing you do, right? And that means you are like in competition with others, right? That means that what goes along with that is that your outreach, like your acquisition marketing, gets more expensive. Where you needed to send maybe 600, 700 letters like 3, 4 years back to get a deal accepted, you now need to send 2, 3,000 letters. Where you needed to do maybe, I don't know, 400, 500 calls to get a contract before. Now it's more like you need to do 1,000, 1,500 calls. So whatever the outreach is, like, got more expensive, right? Um, and then you had all these tools popping up. There's the land portal, the land insights. You have like data tools, different programs, AI here, AI there, which is changing the game. And like what I see happening is a lot is the people stuck in paralysis analysis, and what they don't establish is a pattern of consistency, because the consistency of consistent outreach to sellers, making offers, having conversations, right, is the number one thing that I see that investors are not doing right now. And this is why they don't get the results that they really want, right? Because what they really want is doing deals. Everybody like I talk to, or majority of these people, they don't even want to build a big business. What they want to have is a lifestyle business that allows them to get out of their W-2, to take care of their families, to spend more time at home, to make an alternative living because they're retired house flippers, because that goes much more goes down the river too. So what is never there is this consistency of like really acquiring deals, right? Bunch of people spend like three, four, five, $10,000 on a marketing campaign that keeps them busy for 3 months, and then they do the next three, four, five, $10,000. But this is not how it works. What you really need to establish is a pattern of like consistent outreach, do every day a little bit. Because when you do this like one big wave of like, hey, I had a call today. Hey, I spent $20,000 right now on marketing. Okay, how many people are you? Oh, we are three. It's me and like one lead manager and one thing. Okay, now you send out 20,000 mailers, maybe receive, let's call it 300 phone calls. That would be a 1.5% conversion rate on that, right? 300 phone calls. And you want to handle all of that in that amount of time? No. What you really need to have, what the much better strategy is, to send like 2,000 letters this week and 2,000 letters next week, or do 2,000 calls this week, 2,000 calls next week. Then you have every week a little bit of stuff coming back that you can then work through with your team to compete, to send offers, to negotiate, to be in touch with the sellers. Because when you don't have this consistency and like a team and a system organized and in place that can handle that for you, then you just get stuck, right? And to summarize that a little bit, is the strategies that worked in 2020 are now really struggling to produce results in today's evolving market landscape. And that's what it is. People try to do something that worked 4 years ago, but we are like in the one of the fast changing ages through technology of business the world has ever seen. It's the fastest changes that are going on through AI and all the opportunities it has to offer. And like a lot of people are just like hunting down shiny objects to find the next good and the next best strategy and the next thing to really be on top of that, right? Like, and to, okay, I can do subdivides and entitlement. Oh, hey, there's this new software I should try, and this new software. And suddenly they just have software subscriptions, but they don't know how to use it, right? It's like, hey, let me buy 10 cars, but I don't know how to drive a car. That's what's happening, right? So where you really should spend your time on is on the research, what's working and how you use these tools, right? what most investors struggle with is this outdated approach, right? Pull a county list, blast it, and hope something sticks. This is like one of the biggest things I see out there happening too, right? Like today I talked with an investor. Oh yeah, I went to this coaching program like 7 years ago, and yeah, I pull a county list. I can do that through the CRM. I purchase that and just like blast it and hope for the best. Because that is not how land investing in 2025 anymore works. We have today the best tool in the world. Call them the land portal, call them land insights, call them whatever you name it. Like Landstats is one of those too, right? You can really narrow down the markets you want to be in. And it's no longer just pulling a county. No, you want to think about like, what kind of asset type am I going after? What kind of deal? How does it look like, right? Is it like an infill lot in a specific subdivision? Is it like I want to add a mobile home? Is it like, hey, I just want to flip rural acreage? This is what we do most of the time, right? And what happens through that is that they blast out marketing to a bunch of unqualified leads because they don't put the right data on the top of the funnel because they don't know how to use this new amazing tool. They just have that, right? But they don't use them. So it's like really pulling a county list, blast it, hope that something sticks. And what that really means is that probably 60-70% of the data they have in their lists hit the wrong property types and wrong sellers, right? There's amazing tools today you can utilize to filter your lists for road access, for wetlands, for flood zones, for whatever. But most of the people don't think about that. You can determine market values. No, an appraised value from the county is not a market value. No, all these tools can give you market values. They can give you what was stuff selling for. You want to have a strategy to really maximize to really have the best data on the front end, that you just target sellers that really sit on assets that you want. Because the poor results is that is what I get over and over, like in probably 70% of the calls, people end up with leftover properties no other investor wants, right? It's like the shitty properties that are landlocked, that are this 0.11 acres in a subdivision where there's just like 3 acre lots. This are it's like any kind of flood zone and wetland lots, right? No, when you do this the old way, right? Like this blind outreach just on a county level, you will just like really get poor results because you waste a lot of time and money on marketing that will never show you that results. Why did that work in the past? In the past, there was no competition. There was a market that was super strong. Buyers were fighting for lots. We are not in that market anymore. Like in the market where we are in today, the buyers are really selective of what they are buying because a lot of people like, take their hard-earned money and put it into that and they're insecure. So they will just make super safe investments. So what you want to give them is not, like the minced meat from the beef, right? What you want to give them is like the fillet slices. And you can target them by really having the best data on top of the funnel to make that happen, right? So, and I think this is like where a bunch of people already struggle, and where we were like, hey, that's the next thing. The next thing is the outreach trap, right? Um, I mean, generally, like in our land investment world, are four types of outreach we're doing. There's a bunch of more. There's SEO, PPC, but like the most more common ones are blind offers, neutral letters, texting, calling, right? So texting is the cheapest thing you can do. Blind offers the most expensive thing you can do because you need to spend a lot of time on data. And when you want to bring that, texting has the highest response rate, the lowest lead quality. Blind offers has the lowest response rate, the highest lead quality, followed by neutral letters. People get a letter, open that up, and take the phone, call you to get an offer, or write you like an email or send a letter back or whatever. So they put some effort in that. They're like pretty high committed, and call. They're talking to you on the phone and not just texting, guys. I don't know how many texts I send a day, right? But like I just forget about them all the time. So, and what it is that with the wrong data, now we hit them in one of these channels, right? Neutral letter super expensive, blind offer super expensive, and we just get poor results, right? And this is this leads to a bunch of frustration because it's like, hey, Robin, I spent mail for $6,000, 10,000 letters. Nothing came back. Okay, great. Like, how was your data look like? Who did you send that to? How did you define like the target report? Oh, just send it to this county. Like, they go, oh, I just sent it randomly to Florida. Okay, like, where in Florida? Like, and I'm like, okay, that doesn't work because people are just wasting money, right? So what you really need to be aware of top of the funnel today is that you bring your list together. And then when you're testing, when you test markets, when you're not sure these are your right markets, you want to probably do texting and call calling. It doesn't cost much. Um, it gives you like really, really fast feedback of how the marketplace is working, but you need to be willing to put the work in to then go maybe deeper with neutral letters and blind offers and all that, right? So what you really want to do is texting, call calling is for testing and to be consistent. And then in that areas that work, you want to spend like, like where you made the analysis, okay, I did like 10,000 call calls in like this 10 counties, right? Or in this 10 zip codes or in this 10 markets, right? And you want to break it down and say, you know what, these three markets were working fine. Let me send like a neutral letter to everybody. Let me send by time and blind offer because I know that area, that asset type. It's the 5 to 20 acres that are working in that area, right? So you really need to get like an approach together where you test what works, go deeper, deeper, deeper to produce results, right? So testing, you produce results, you take these markets, go deeper, and then you stay and stick in these markets, right? Because they're producing for you. They're giving you assets that you want when you do the right research on the top of the funnel. But a lot of people struggle with that, right? So what I want to say is without a really strategic multi-channel approach, response rates plummet after initial campaigns. And you know what worked once rarely continues to perform up without adaptation and integration. So what you really need to do is like to consistently look at your numbers. People can tell me, hey, I sent last week 10,000 mailers to these 10 markets. Okay, how many people replied per market? How many people converted from there into a contract sent? How many contracts did we convert in a real contract? How many contracts converted in a deal, right? Like a measurement nobody's talking about because a bunch of those deals that we are seeing coming in are no deals because there's so much hiccups with the property and people were not really looking into that, right? So yeah, this was like really something I really wanted to share because this is why people struggle, right? Like, let me summarize that, right? There's literally um, a couple of things. First of all, there's lead management chaos, right? Um, there is no system to consistently identify deals or follow up consistently, right? This is like the first thing like that we see people do all this work and then they think they need more leads, but they never think, did I really talk to all the sellers that I already contacted, right? Second thing is on the top of the funnel they throw in the wrong data. They throw in the wrong properties in the wrong markets with the wrong sellers because they didn't spend their time on the data research top of the funnel to really contact those to really spend their marketing dollars wisely, right? And then when they have all those good leads, what I see a lot of people, I asked the guy today, how do you follow up? Oh, yeah, we sometimes send a text message and whatever. Okay, so you don't have a funnel that like nurtures them, like maybe follow up like in the next 5 days, like 3 calls, 5 calls a day or whatever. Send a couple of text messages, do ringless voicemail jobs, send an email if you have their email address or whatever. Like when you have been in touch with them, made them an offer, you put all this work and you don't follow up on your offer. So send a second, third, fourth offer, whatever. That's not there, right? So you really like good data, then you want to have a great follow-up process. Um, and the next thing what I see happening then is then they do all of that, get the contract, and then they stuck in analysis paralysis, right? Because they don't know like really is the deal that worth what I think it's worth? Is that deal a good deal? How do I find the right realtor? How do I do this? How do I do that? Right? And then suddenly that weeks and months pass by and they can't make a decision, right? And when they made then a decision to move forward, then they had a disposition and then they stuck again, right? Like, okay, How do I prepare my marketing? How do I get great footage of my property? How do I find the right realtor? I need a sales team. I need marketing channels. Oh, I need land.com. I need Facebook Market. Oh, I need to deal with those leads coming in suddenly too. Oh, I need to build a system to handle those leads, right? And what they don't do is talking to their people and like just like lose them, right? Because suddenly I have an acquisition pipeline, I need to talk to people, and I have a disposition pipeline where I need to talk to people, and I need to follow up on them and handle everything by themselves, right? And on top of that, what we find in there is transaction nightmares, right? Like every land investor has been a couple of deals down the road, right? Like we'll see, hey, there is title issues, there is condition issues, there's go for holes, there is, I don't know, shooting neighbors, wild cows. Wild cows, really, that's in one of my properties. Like the neighbor wouldn't give me an easement because there's wild cows, right? So you're suddenly stuck in this like transaction nightmare. We're working on an easement situation where a title company fucked up for 2.5 years. When you don't have a team and process in place, and that consumes all of your time while you can't talk to buyers, while you can't talk to sellers, while you can't do that, right? And then last but not least, we're also in a marketplace where double closing almost got wiped out, right? I mean, there's still a couple of markets where this happens, right? And you can target those when you do good data, right? You go in hot markets where you see average turnaround of 30 days or less, right? You target this market, then you go in, you will have a bunch more of competition. You will not make that much of a deal, but you will have a highly likelihood that you can sell this deal. But when you don't do this type of business, when you're targeting rural acreage, more rural subdivision, hey, this markets don't move that much. And not a lot of people are understanding any more of like 6 months contract, right? There's a couple of people I know that can bring them in place and they're really good on that. But um, most of them are not. Sellers don't want to sign a 6 months contract because probably through the competition, they have been through a couple of iterations of that. They have worked with a bunch of wholesalers that had their properties locked up for 6 months and weren't able to sell it. And then everybody goes frustrated and angry, right? So what you really need is like the funding game figured out too. And I had a discussion today with this guy, and he told me, "Oh yeah, I want to do like 10 to 12 deals a month, like 100 to $350,000 deals in the next 12 months." Okay, so good. So what you probably need is like you need to send around 20 to 30,000 mailers a month to find those deals. When you think that in the markets you want to go into, 2 3,000, that means probably was like let's call it a 2% response rate. You will get 5 to 600 leads that you need to qualify, then you need to comp them, you need to make offers, you need to follow up on these offers, right? So let's say then you get like 10, 15 contracts, then you need to underwrite them a month, then you need to do due diligence, you need to prepare marketing materials, you need to do all of that. And in the end, you need to take all of these deals down. And when it's $150,000 deals, as you described me, you said, okay, then you probably buy every deal for 80,000. That means you need to raise every month $800,000, and then you are selling those lots. So probably you generate every day 5, 6 leads for each lot. So you need to speak to like another 1,500 people a month to rule all of that out. And he was like, fuck, like that's what it really is. Yeah, this is how you plan a business, right? And this is where I see a lot of people stacking because to get there, and when you look at all the straight operators we have in the industry, like an Anshu Sharma, like a Justin Pichet, they have gigantic teams managing that, right? Like they build this SOPs and they were able to build these businesses, but they spent like hours and weeks and nights and blood and sweat and tears to get there, and we're highly committed, but everybody wants that result to make $1 million a year out of that, but nobody wants to put the work in or the capability and the investment to get there, right? What people really want is a lifestyle business. And that really brings us in this vicious cycles, right? And this is why most of the investors never scale beyond like a couple of deals, because what they do is they start with bad data, right? Start with bad quality lists, have a weak outreach. What do I mean by that? That what I described, right? Inconsistent marketing efforts. Send 10,000 now, and then try to work through them. Then another 10,000 in 4 months. Why not sending like over the course of 10 weeks, 1,000 a week that you can handle that and really talk with your sellers because we build relationship. And then in the end, through the bad data, they get just all the crappy deals, right? Because they target a lot of that things that are just like really bad deals. And then after that, when they have them on a contract, they forget about them. And guys, I can tell you sometimes that happens to us too, right? Like I just like was this morning, fuck, we have this 4 deals. We still need to work through a couple of things to add some value. And I forgot about that for 2 weeks, right? Even in a system like ours, sometimes that happens. But we got it out because I talked like today, it was my head of operations there and said, hey, this is what she said, oh, I lost track of that because I didn't put it on a spreadsheet. So happens to me too. But like we have systems in place that can just like push through, and all of that got taken care of today, which was just a 2 weeks delay, where other people had 2 months, 3 months, 4, 5 months delay, right? And what that leads actually to is a complete overwhelm, burnout, exhaustion, and frustration because supposedly nothing is working. No, it's not that nothing is working. It's that pieces are not working. All the pieces together are not working because there's no consistency in it, right? And what I see is that a lot of people give up right now, right? Which is opportunity too for that stay, right? It's less competition. But like a lot of people that invested a lot of money in land just like get out of that and say it's not working. And to be honest, guys, I'm here like to do deals with people and to do deals together with you. And I think that's freaking frustrating. And I was like really thinking, what can we do about this that we can break this vicious cycle, right? And what I was thinking is, why don't we do like the CEO shift, right? There's a new way of doing things. The old way means you do everything yourself, right? You do random, unpredictable results. You're working in your business instead on your business, right? What is when there could be a new way that the only thing you really do is talking to sellers, close deals, cash checks, and really produce consistent, predictable results because you're plugging in a system that already works. You're plugging into something that already has working together with people that have figured that out, and you take over a part in this process and become really good at one thing, that's talking to sellers. And this is how the land autopilot works. This is like really what we built for you guys is a system where you can eliminate all this headache by eliminating all the headaches, right? Like, what do I mean by that, right? So we're going to solve all these hiccups for you in the system. First of all, we give you the best data that you can, like the best curated, targeted list with all the properties removed that you don't want to address and all the properties that you really want to have that will actually make you money. Because when you're honest, you're not in love with infill lots. You are in love with the check that this produces for you, right? So you want to do deals that make you 20, 30, 40, 50, 80, $100,000, right? This is what it really is, right? We're going to provide that data for you and find that for you after we talk with you what you want. Then we organize the outreach completely for you. It's text and calls mainly. We will add letters later, but this is all done for you. So you tell us what you want. We pull all the data together, use the latest technology to skip trace it, to AI filter like road access and landlocked and like all that crap, like flood zones, wetlands. So you really get the best of the best. And then we're going to start like funneling that in a multi-channel campaign out there. We do the lead management for you with AI agents that will work for you, with CRMs that are set up for you so that you really never lose track of motivated sellers. And that can have two levels. Yeah, we can plug into the system that you have already built and give you like a complete instruction how to do that. Or we just like give you the whole system. There's two ways of doing that, right? You will work closely, like 100% with our underwriting. Wait, guys, let me just close the door real quick. Um, with our underwriting team, right? Like our team will run your comps. You don't need to worry about that. You don't need to hire a VA. You don't need to do that. No, like you plug into our system, you need an evaluation, it's done. And guess what? We organize the data in a way that it will automatically, every deal that's coming out will qualify when you negotiate it right for our disposition system, right? So we take over the deal, do the whole due diligence, do the whole marketing, do the whole sales, create all the marketing materials. We fund that deal. We open escrow for you. We just like do everything that's necessary once you get the contract. That deal gets moved and you get paid. right? And there's two ways of getting paid. You can get paid in 30 days, right? Or you can stay in the deal and make a 50% profit split with us. This is how we use that. So everything is like streamed up. And we have done that multiple times, right? I mean, we have 12, close over 1,200 deals. We've over deployed over $1 million, $11 million in capital, and like the team has run over 30,000 homes, right? And there were a couple of people we tested the system with, and that was Mark, good friend of mine, and he closed his first deal out of that land autopilot that we started the beta like 4 months ago. Um, was a 55K profit deal, and he just like loved it. And Sarah made 30 grand on her first deal, right? It was really her first deal, and she was just like, she's a house flipper. He said like, I would do it if I just need to do the analysis, right? And Casey is like, really, he made 12 grand in his first 30 days. Like he signed up and we ding ding ding, and he got like 2 billion deals, and he just like said, you know what, I would just want to make like a quick assignment fee on those. I need some money. He just made 12 grand in his bank account in 30 days after signing up. And that's the beauty of it, right? You can play in this land autopilot system also, like, hey, do I want to stay longer in the deal, or do I want to automatically sell it to the land pilot guys, right? And get an assignment fee on that, right? That doesn't mean I make the big profit, but I get some money in my bank, which can help too, right? And our vision of this was like really building an army of elite land CEOs, right? We have like two levels where we're doing that, and we will just open that up for 42 people in total. There will be the light members, there will be 30 partners that we will set up to close 1 to 3 deals per month that make a minimum profit of 20 grand a deal, or have a minimum profit of 20 grand a deal for them built in, right? The pro members, we will set them up over the course of a year to do 4 to 6 deals a month, that make them 40 grand a year. And now you can see the pipelines behind that, right? Like imagine like how your life would look like when you consistently would have fully organized outreach. You just need to negotiate your deals, right? And then they go in a system, and you can just like build a pipeline really to that supports your lifestyle, because everything else is managed. And my vision of this is to really scale with this team together across the United States, completely data-driven acquisition and done for you operation that creates a network of the successful land investors who operate as true business owners without all the struggle that everybody else has, right? And Light is really, we thought like a long time, how do we structure that? We have so many people who do this part-time, and don't understand me wrong, like Light still gives you 1 to 3 deals a month, but you can do that like beside of your job, right? And you can just like do that like even when you still have a W-2, when you have a family, when you have hobbies, whatever, right? And pro members, this is just really for full-time land investors that are struggling with building a business, but they want to make the next step. This is how we designed that, because I want to build a significant business with you guys where you don't need to worry about that. You just plug in, right? We organize the data for you, the outreach for you, and you just like negotiate those deals, and we take care of all the rest in the back end. This is really my vision of this. This is why we made the land autopilot. What we are really looking for in this is highly committed individuals, right? Like we open up in the first round right now 8 slots. It's 5 slots on light and 3 on pro, and we have already sold 2 pro slots and 3 light slots. So there's just 2 light slots and 1 pro slot available. And the first cohort we're launching right now will get that on a ridiculous low price, right? Always have in mind that we're really looking for people that want to do it, right? That are driven closers, that are accountable and coachable. Because a bunch of that work we're doing in this is not only we give you the full system that is operating, right? Everything is paid for, your text messages, your data, like everything that you need in your business is done. But it's also, we give you the framework of holding you accountable. Are you doing the right things to move deals right now? There will be one-on-one coaching components with me. There will be group coaching and all of that, just like to stay in the loop and to really move the needle, to build your pipeline step half $1 million, $1 million that consistently produces something. And like I had like a couple of calls this week where I said, you know what, like I really love you and I like you and I think you will be successful, but you're not the right partner for us, right? They were so eager, hey, how is this working? How is it not working? No, we say no to a bunch of people too because we don't need to sell it. We want to keep small group, and it will probably over the next year be 5 to 6 cohorts where we will just launch like couple of proceeds like every 5 6 weeks and a couple of light seats, right? That we have this 42 individuals by end of the year together. So we really want to take great care of you, right? What it really is predictable deal flow, and that we're going to set you up. We will organize this consistency in outreach instead of like doing run and gun. We give you really good data, sniper rifle data instead of cannon data, right? You just like get those leads that you need with those assets underlying of these leads that you really want. And what we really want will build with you is the true business versus a hustle. We will build a scalable operation for you that runs with or without you. We will even give you the framework how to hire people into this that you just like control what they're doing, right? Like imagine you could run your business like that. Like you're sitting there and just like looking at some dashboard and say, okay, like today, my buddy Steven, that is my lead manager or like my closing person didn't do that what he was supposed to do. My numbers are not right. We will help you building that up that you can just like, run the business. And in the end, that gives us freedom and community, guys. Because we want to hang out together. You want to hang out with your family, and there will be a bunch of like-minded investors and that you can hang out with. And like really the highest value activities in land are seller conversations. This is where you really make the money. Everything else is just spending money to move things. And this is where we will help you become a true expert and build everything around you that you can perform in that role. So if you're ready to really become a CEO in your land business, stop struggling with inconsistent results and the frustrations of do everything yourself and build a true business asset and not just a job, then let's do it together, guys. Let's scale your business on autopilot and get it together. So if you've been intrigued by that, right? Like you will find on all the socials, let me pull it a little bigger here, a little link to sign up for a call. I have a couple of more slots next week. I think we will be pretty much sold out pretty quickly. Ask me if you're watching on the socials or if you're there, scan that link, sign up for a call with me, and I'm really going to walk you through. I want to understand how your business works, what your goals are. I do this calls. There's no sales rep. No, you deal with me, right? Like I take the time because I really just want to work with the right partners, right? And when you say, hey, that's right, and you say that's for me, and I say, hey, that's right, that's for you, that's for us, then we just start implementing it. And we're going to set you up from the day you commit. In 10 days, you will receive the first leads, right? So if you have any questions around that or whatever, come to our Zoom room right now, go in our Facebook group, write me a message, write me an email. But what I really want to do is I want to transform the way with you, how you approach your land investing business and really want to work closely with you, right? From a chaotic hustle to like systematic business. And I want to wrap this training today up with a quote from Mark Twain: "The secret to getting ahead is getting started. The secret to getting started is breaking your complex, overwhelming tasks into small, manageable tasks and then starting on the first one." And will break your business down in just one task to do, and that's talking to sellers. And with that said, it's 5:40 already with a couple of people in Zoom here. I'm gonna open it up for a little Q&A, but also, guys, if there's anything else you want to talk about today, we can just do that right now. And yeah, let's open the stage. Is there anything I can help you with? Any questions you guys have? Let me see if there's something in the chat. No, not today. Everybody's quiet. I'm just like, what the heck is he talking about, right? Good. Hey guys, if there are no questions for today, nothing you want to share. I know that I have a call today with Jay. He's here in Zoom. Glenn, you've already seen the system, right? And I think you really liked it, right? We just figured out you have a brilliant approach for yourself right now in place, right? That's the better solution, right? And yeah, I have a call with Keys tomorrow too. So, guys, let's close it out early today. It was a long day for me. I had a lot of calls, and I just came back from California, so I'm pretty happy to just like um, get a little bit to an early rest today. Say thank you for chiming in, for being here for today, and wish everybody a great rest of your Thursday.
You bet. Take care.
Bye bye, folks.